Hello again. Now we are at the, I think this is the most important thing that you could take away from a basic drawing class. The most practical, utilitarian thing possible, and that is the measuring of angles and proportions. And I'm going to divide this demonstration video into two parts. One is going to be your point of view from over there, but then I'm going to bring the camera for the second one over and I'm going to show you very quickly how things look from my point of view, as best I can, looking down a camera lens. So here you're going to be able to see it from a distance, and in the second video you're going to be able to see it from my point of view. Hopefully I won't block block your point of view too much. I might do that actually. I'll try and step aside regularly. Okay, drawing the box. Nice simple arrangement. First thing I'm going to do is look at the box. I'm going to do my point of view from back here. Step back so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I can almost mark the floor. That's where my foot is. Okay, and then I'm going to maybe a little closer. Okay, so if I look at it, the box, I'm just going to use my hand like this. It is about as high, the height of what I'm seeing is about the same as the width, proportionally. So that means I can place the box, in this case, very much in a square. This is something, every time you draw with a model, with a still life, you in a sense, you want to kind of frame it, as through a viewfinder, like this. Do you want it portrait? Do you want it landscape? This I've decided landscape will look best. But you really kind of need to look at your subject through a viewfinder and imagine placing it on the page. I don't want to sight size this. If from this point of view, I look at the distance between here and here, and that's too small for me. To end up drawing a little box, sight size from here, is not good enough with all this. I want to scale it up so that it fills the square, fills the page, and that's what I'm going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is decide where this line, where this break between this side of the box and that side of the box should be within this square. So I'm going to measure the distance between here, here, and here, and here, and see which is bigger, or if they're the same, or whatever. They're about the same. Wow. I was afraid of that. You know what? I'm going to tilt it a little bit. I just think visually that three-quarter view is better. So I'm going to, because it'll emphasize more that the box is rectangular. That is an executive decision that you can make. If you were drawing the model, very often your point of view amongst the people, it doesn't look quite right. So you move left or you move right. I could have moved left or right, moved the easel to get a slightly different view, but I decided to turn the box, because if I move left or right, you won't see me. I'll be under the picture frame. Okay, so that was a bit long-winded. Okay, so now this central line is a little bit this way. So that line here is that line there. Of course, if I draw enough lines, one of them will be right. This point here is the bottom of the box. There. Now, as I look at that, you're going to see this even better when you see from my point of view. That line, I measured the angle of this line, this basic unit, and it is completely plumb. Now, I can't quite see that the sides of the box, I'm focusing on this line, everything on this side of the box is blurry. They must be converging down to a vanishing point down here. So if I go to look at them and move my head over here to this side of the box, it looks plumb. And to that side of the box, it looks plumb. It isn't, but this is the fact that we see so little in our locus of vision makes it appear that everything is plumb. You know, that the side of the garage is plumb. The door jamb over there is plumb. And you'll see that from my point of view. So in a sense, all the verticals are parallel to the edge of the picture plane. When I'm measuring angles and proportions, I'm tilting my head and moving my eyes to slightly change my vantage point. In a sense, I'm seeing like a camera, my eyes are, but I'm not perceiving like a camera because I'm constantly tilting my head, and a camera doesn't do that. And then I'm refreshing the information, and my brain is being told that no, all the verticals are completely plumb. But of course they're not. Okay, so moving along quickly, I'm going to measure the angles on the bottom. And you'll see me do this again in a minute from my point of view. Nope, a little bit more. So there we go, there's the bottom. Where is this point, the distance between here and here, where is that? How is that proportionally from the distance from here to the top of the box? It's about the distance from here, the top of the box, to the middle of the box is about half of the distance, this basic unit. So I'm going to put this point here a little higher up, not halfway, so that I can fill the box on the page a little more. So now this distance here is this distance here. That is going to be my basic unit against which I will measure everything else. If I were doing a figure, somebody standing, a standing model, usually the head will be the basic unit, and I'll be able to measure the distance of the head from the tip of my crayon, move my thumb down to the chin, and then I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, how many heads high that model is, and then I can place that model accordingly, scale it up, place it to fit on my page. Okay, so now what I will do is try and decide how big or the proportion of this side of the box is to this side of the box. And so I'm going to, move my, put the point here on the tip and move my thumb up and down like that. Keep my arm locked. Always keep your arm locked, because if I move it, I'm changing the scale. I'm changing where the projection is in front of me. I'm measuring things on this projection that exists somewhere here. Cross, okay. So, okay, I've got the proportion sorted out. I'm going to measure it in relation to the basic unit now. That'll help me better. Sorry, I wasn't thinking. There, it comes to about here. So if I take this distance and move it to here, actually, let me just check that again. 1, 2, now it comes to about here. So there's that side of the box. It's all shaded. And now, how big is this side of the box in relation, let's do it to the basic unit. It's a little bit smaller than the basic unit. It's about from there to there. So now I've got the far side of the box. Now I measure the angle at the top here. Sometimes it takes me a couple of times. And I mean, bear in mind, when I'm drawing, I don't usually draw like this. I try and draw lyrically and fluidly. I try to wing it. But if I step back and look at my drawing and something doesn't look right to my eye, then I'll double check. I use, when I'm life drawing, I do that. Something doesn't look right. I'll measure the angle of the shoulder, or the spine, or the tilt of the head, and my gosh, it's off. And then I can make the necessary adjustments. So it's not something that's done, when we do this as an exercise, it's all very methodical and step by step, and you know, one step after another. When you're actually drawing, it's much more fluid, pushing, pulling. You know, you're not thinking about what you're doing. You shouldn't be, ultimately. You want to be able to just shoot from the hip and just draw more lyrically, but this is a great tool to double check with. If you're doing an extremely, now I'm measuring the back of the box here. If you're doing an extremely, you need to do an extremely accurate drawing. Say you're doing a portrait of somebody. You know, you might use this method in order to get, there's the little top of the box, in order to get the highest degree of accuracy. So there you have it. There you have measuring angles and proportions. I'll quickly go on over and I'll show you my point of view. Hopefully it's more or less, oops, there's the box there, and here it is here. So it's now, of course, the camera, it doesn't look the same, but you'll see it when I do the second video. You'll see how when you see it from my point of view, you'll see that it is actually, oh, let's see if I can get this back up again. It's I'm drawing what I'm seeing. So there you have it, measuring angles and proportions. The most crucial thing to take away from this drawing class. But there'll be lots of other interesting things, and we'll end this video now and move on to the second one of this series.